Following an LLC is like buying a gym membership, and it makes you feel official, but it doesn't make you strong. So last week, I had a good friend of mine um, at, asked me out for lunch, treat for my lunch. I really appreciate it. And his question was, all right, so I want to form an LLC. So how do I position that so that I can buy a business or buy real estate? Okay. And and so there's three parts of this. Okay. There's three steps of this, or what you want to do. So most new entrepreneurs think that once I have the LLC, banks will just throw money at me. That's the myth, and the myth costs people years. So the first question, and I asked myself, so what is interesting about this topic? Here's what's interesting: your ability to finance a business or real estate has almost nothing to do with your LLC. It had almost everything to do with your current buying power. Think of it of funding like a ladder. And most people try to jump to the top rung without checking to see how tall the ladder really is. And so, question number two: now, why don't most people know this? Because, and you may have seen this, because the internet screams, start an LLC in 10 minutes, but no one explains what to do after that. An LLC is just the container, and capital is the fuel, and container without fuel will go nowhere. And then question number three: what should people do instead? And there are three real steps to getting started the right way. So step one, you want to determine your buying power. So in this case, he was thinking about, well, I want to either make business acquisition, or want to make acquisitions in real estate. So before anything else, you need a reality check. You want to ask, what is my credit today, based on my income today, based based on my credit today, based on my income today, based on my current profile, how much funding can I actually get? So until you intentionally build business credit, you're limited to your personal financial situation. That's not bad. It's just a starting line. This is like a GPS. You must know where you are before you can tell where you're going. And step two, once you figured out your buying part, step two, you want to determine a true business credit profile. And this is where most people get lost, because building a business credit has three main layers to it. So one is a corporate foundation, and this is something simple as proper entity setup, your correct addresses, phone numbers, bank account, compliance, and all this is really important depending on where you're trying to go. In step one, is step and number two is building that business credit history, and that is easy as just adding trade accounts, vendor accounts, business credit cards, just accounts that actually report on your credit history to build that history. And then number three is, what is your long-term vision? So are you trying to buy a business? Are you trying to buy real estate, equipment, a franchise? Because your destination determines the roadmap. Where you trying to go? And then step three, find and evaluate deals. Now, and only now do you shop, because most people do this backwards. They fall in love with a deal first, and then they try to figure out the financing. It's like a grocery shopping with no idea what's in your bank account. Can you imagine this? Now, in our business credit accelerator program, we don't start with the paperwork. We start with clarity. The first step is a business fund analysis. It basically determine and analyze what you could fund as a business. That's what the business fund analysis means. So what we answer is, what are your real goals? How does buying a business or real estate fit into your life plan? Where are you right now financially, and what gaps need to be fixed? The great thing about that, the business credit, adding the business credit and those kind of things, it can it can liberate or ameliorate or fix a lot of stuff on the personal side. Um, Once we know the answer, the path becomes very obvious, because funding is not random. It's a formula. So if you skip these steps, this is typically what you end up. You chasing banks, getting declined, buying bad deals, wasting time, and blaming the system. But the system actually works when you follow the right order. I remember when I first started my first contracting business, you know, I was I was doing well on the residential side and looking to grow it on the commercial side. And cash flow wasn't a problem, because typically when you finish a real estate or consumer deal, you get paid right then and there. But commercial world is totally different. You send an invoice, you have to wait 30, 45, 60 days to get paid. Now, if I wish I'd taken all of these steps that I'm telling you ahead of time, before looking to do that. But I know most people, that's not how it works. People, they just get started, and there's a lot of businesses that you can start without actually taking out a loan, but it just helps to build your credit profile and have some clarity financially before you truly set up that LLC and 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 making acquisitions. Once you because here's the key: even when you're looking to buy real estate, and the great things about some real estate is some of them are income producing, and then obviously businesses are income producing. Well, they're maybe income producing but not profitable. So typically what happens once a business fund analysis is done on you personally, you can do that analysis also on the business that they're looking to acquire, to make a determination of if the business that they're looking to purchase will debt service, meaning that if this business have enough profits to be able to pay a loan, then it's financeable and it's easy to make that acquire, or making a being able to fund the acquisition, be able to acquire that property. So so and so here's but when the system actually works when you follow in the right order. Because so starting an LLC is easy. Becoming funding is strategic. I mean, it's not hard. It's just a process. And the strategy also starts with knowing your buying power. Because here's the great thing about knowing your buying power: then you can strategically know how to, if you need to get owner financing or whatever, you'll know exactly what to do. So your future deals can only be as big as today's clarity.